Hello and welcome back to the Analogue Wonderland YouTube channel. No. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Analogue Wonderland YouTube channel. My name's Emma, I'm marketing assistant at Analogue Wonderland, and today I'm back to review a very special film from one of my favourite film brands, and that is Washi X.
Whether you are new to film photography or a long-time analog enthusiast, our channel covers all things film, from tips and tricks, film reviews to how-to videos. Subscribe now and keep those notifications turned on so that you never miss a beat. Happy shooting!
So before we get started, you may notice that the background's looking a little different. I'm actually working at home this week. I thought it was time to give the team a break from me constantly pestering them for content and silly TikTok ideas, as they are in the thick of Christmas prep and getting all your orders out in time for the big day. So I am spending the week at home, and I thought it'd be a perfect time to review this film and also pop out on a sneaky lunchtime photo walk to give this film a go myself. So I've just left for my little lunchtime photo walk. If you guys want to see my photo walk attire for this weather, just put them on. Looking good. So this video will be some snippets of me on the walk, along with some facts about the film from Lomig himself. I will be showing you some photos from members of the film community, also our friend Molly. Her YouTube handle is Eclectochrome, who shot this film back in the summer and took some gorgeous photos. And then hopefully I'll be back with a second video soon to show you my finished results. So, film Washi. For those of you who haven't shot Washi films before, they are an incredible independent film brand run by Lomig, who is a absolute genius, inventor, film photography mastermind. He is based in France. It's a French film company. You'll spot Washi packaging anywhere from the signature bright red canisters, and on them they all say world's smallest film company, which I love, because considering they're a small independent brand, they do so much. The breadth of films that Lomig creates is absolutely incredible, and they all have such interesting backstories. You can probably tell by the way I'm talking about Lomig that I am a massive fan, and this could easily become a bit of a Lomig fangirl video. I've also just had an email from Lomig, who is the creator of Film Washi, and you guys don't understand how much I love Lomig. He's just incredible. Every time we review a Washi film, I'll send Lomig a quick email, just, hey, have you got any facts or interesting stories about the film? And he always delivers, he never disappoints. So I did the same for Washi X, and Lomig, bless him, actually said he was currently in bed with the flu, but he still sent me this incredible email with all the information about Washi X. So I'm going to tell you all about that and how this film came to life. So Washi X is a very new film on the scene. There was a huge amount of excitement from the film community when this was launched. Firstly, because it's a colour film, which is just always exciting when a new colour film comes to the scene, but also because it is the first colour film that Washi has produced. So we knew this would be a really interesting film. Lomig's films are always playful, there's always something unusual or different about them. So Washi X is a colour negative film, but it can be processed as C41 or a slide film, which is the first interesting fact right out the gate, and it also is why it's called Washi X. As there is no orange mask on this film, you can process it in both C41 negative chemistry or positive E6 chemistry. At the time, Lomig was working in a lab, and the cross-processed films that they were doing, this means E6 film in C41 chemistry, were marked with a big X for cross-process. And this is where he got the inspiration for the name. You can process it normally through C41, kind of standard colour processing or opt to process it as a slide film, where you will get some slightly different results or colour shifts compared to developing it as a C41 film. Alex in the lab shot it as a slide film recently, so I'll make sure to share some of those results with you too. Let me read out some of the interesting facts Lomig has shared with me about this film. X135 is a maskless colour film originally produced for technical use like aerial mapping. Maskless C41 films that the negative will not have the classic orange-brown colour that every C41 film strip has. So when you get your negatives back from the lab, you'll see that they have this kind of orange hue to them. And this orange mask that Lomig mentions was invented by Kodak during the late 40s because at the time colour films delivered highly saturated pictures. So this bit's a bit technical, but it is very interesting. I thought I would do a voiceover of some of my photo walks so we can focus on the science from Lomig and not my confused face. So Lomig says, basically, colour film pictures are made of several different colour layers, at least 3, and they're all on top of each other. If you combine the 3 different layers, you are supposed to have a perfect picture. But in reality, the colour element can migrate within the layer or from one layer to another, creating what Lomig calls a parasite pattern. Imagine you have 3 pictures made with the superposition of 3 pieces of tracing paper, each carrying one colour. You superpose your drawings the best you can, but you still have some blurred zones where some colour is not where it is supposed to be. So, to correct this, you apply a 4th colour layer of orange that will cover and hide all these imperfections. But Washi X is different because it has this orange layer removed. So this film has actually had quite a long journey. Lomig started to work with this kind of maskless film back in 2015. With his work on other Washi films, he'd made contact with lots of other film manufacturers and found that some special film stocks were still being made in long bulk rolls that he could then cut down and respool into 35mm rolls. Lomig decided to convert these long reels of film into 35mm canisters so that everybody could use it. It started the second part of Film Washi along with his other hand-coated films. It's just so brilliant that Lomig is making film like this, that he's respooling and making them available to the everyday film shooter, hobbyist, enthusiast like us, so we can all enjoy these weird and wonderful, unique films. Film X was the first of this kind. After trying it, Lomig fell in love with the saturated colour due to the lack of mask. It really brings us back to the 40s and 50s and the first time of colour film. So it's got that really punchy 50s look. The first time colour film was available, it's almost like we went mad for it because we had only ever seen black and white pictures before. So the colours in all these films from the 40s and 50s, super punchy and vibrant, just like you'll see in Washi X. But he still wants to keep a bit of a mystery about where he got the film from, so don't have any information about that. But Lomig has shared a little joke with us. I have a very bad sense of humour because with that name, a French client will most of the time ask for Film X to their retailers. And in French, Film X also means porn movie. So we have to iterate strongly that this is not an X-rated film. The X stands for cross-processing, the fact you could process it in C41 or E6 chemistry. So he says he has a few fun facts about this. For example, a pro photographer working for a French institution had to explain to the accountant why he bought Film X on state budget. Also, now that Lomig is a father of a 6-year-old boy, he says he takes care when he's at home to speak about the film as the colour film because he does not want his son to innocently and proudly say at school that his father is a Film X producer. I love that. I think that's hilarious. It's great that Lomig and other smaller independent brands are working really hard to bring us colour film and continue to support the film industry in this way. Lomig also has a few tips for how to shoot the film. He says, Please keep in mind that first use was for aerial mapping. It gives best results with bright sunlight. So aerial mapping would be used to document, large areas of land, probably be shot from a plane. So Lomig says quite rightly that you do not fly into grey clouds for aerial mapping shooting because you wouldn't get great results. So imagine you're an aeroplane, what weather would you want to be flying in? He said you can expose it at 100 ISO for both C41 or E6, and no special processing adjustment is needed for this, but E6 does require a more precise exposure setting as this is much less forgiving. In C41, films tends to give very warm and reddish tones, so be careful, as if underexposed in E6 you'll end up with very blue/green tones, but this could also be a really interesting effect to play with. I think one of the photos we got back from a member of the film community was processed in E6, and you can definitely see those bluer tones come through. The last tip from Lomig is to remember that this is a PET film, so take care of light piping. This is something that I should have kept in mind when I loaded the film. Don't load your film in a very bright area. You shouldn't do this anyway because there is a risk that the light could shoot around the film and expose some of your shots or give you some light leaks, so just be careful when loading the film. So I think that's everything you need to know for Washi X film. I'm just super excited to have another colour film back on the market. Really excited to play with this. I've got a few reviews up on our website for this film. So Miranda says it has lovely tones. Love the hues in this film, picked up reds and oranges very nicely and works surprisingly well in low light too. Roger Whitworth says it's a very versatile film. I rather like this film. It is my first time with a washi and I'd read that it responds well to reversal chemistry, in this case E6, so that's what I did. It came out really well. The colours are a bit heavy in their natural state, fresh from the tank, and once dried it looks good. So I've shot this film on my trusty Pentax K1000. It's my favourite go-to camera and often the one I like to use when I'm first testing out a film because I know it's reliable and I know what I'm doing with it. I think especially with a hand-rolled film you're often best off doing it in a manual SLR camera rather than a point and shoot, just because it gives you that bit more control. So I'm hoping this will become a new favourite as we wait for the day of colour film supply to be more constant. But in the meantime, Lomig is doing the work for the film community, once again being an absolute genius. So I really hope you enjoy shooting this film. Let us know how you get on with it, let us know what you're planning on shooting, and please leave some more reviews on our website because we'd love to see some more examples of this film out in the wild. Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed this little at-home video from me, and I will be back with the results very soon. Bye guys!